A lot of these Zeppelin fans sound to me like kind of like the wife who gets repeatedly abused by the husband and keeps on making excuses for his behavior. Hey, everybody, this is TJR. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. And also, welcome to Mean Comments, the show where I answer all your mean and nasty comments. So today, we're going to start with a very kind and very appreciated comment from Stephen Rick 1703. And he commented in reference to my video, my problem with Four Chords by the Axis of Awesome. This is a video that I made 5 years ago, but it still elicits comments. So a little bit of context first. This video is a response to the YouTube video entitled Four Chords from the YouTube channel, The Axis of Awesome. Now, Four Chords is a very popular, entertaining, and very funny video where you have these three comic musicians illustrate how many popular songs use the 1-4-5-7 chord progression.
Recognize this? Yeah, that's Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
And the cast of Glee.
Yeah, there's a few more songs with the same chords. Check it out.
Now, my response to this video is a deeper exploration on the intricacies and the musical nuances of popular songs that use this very well tried and true chord progression. I got a lot of positive comments on this video, but I also get a lot of really hostile, and I mean hostile and negative comments about it. All these negative comments are centered around the fact that I apparently have no sense of humor and that I don't understand that this was a comedy video. These comments baffle me since I did describe the Four Chords video by the Axis of Awesome as very entertaining, as very funny. And I said this numerous times during my video response. And again, I don't understand. Do people just not pay attention to what they are watching? Anyways, Stephen Rick 1703 says, I'm surprised by all the negative comments you got on this video. As someone who has a limited understanding of how music is made, I found this video very informative. Like, I knew that all the songs in the Axis of Awesome video actually sound different from each other, but I didn't know the details as you explained them here. I especially liked hearing the chord progressions and the bass line of Don't Stop Believing played separately, and the comparisons between Twist and Shout and La Bamba. And Stephen Rick 1703, thank you for this very supportive comment. And if any of you haven't seen this video, I will leave a link for you. Moving on, last weekend, I talked about the National Album Day re-release of A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. I'm talking about the album, not the movie. A lot of people expressed anger in the comments section regarding this announcement, saying that it was a cash grab, calling it obnoxious. Maybe I didn't make this clear enough in my initial video, but this re-release of A Hard Day's Night is for National Album Day, which is a kind of a UK version of Record Store Day here in the US. So the thing about this release that you have to keep in mind before you start claiming cash grab or anything like that is that this is a very limited release, which really means that the sales on this is going to be just a drop in the bucket for the Beatles and for Apple. Who this really helps is all the UK retailers that participate in National Album Day. Recently, Mike over at the In-Groove channel was discussing the current 2024 Black Friday Record Store Day release list. And he said that anytime there is either a Taylor Swift release or a Beatles release for Record Store Day or for Black Friday Record Store Day, it's good for the retailers like himself. So I'm sure the same holds true for the UK. I did say that this is basically, a collector's item. It's kind of a novelty. I'm pretty sure that this is just the exact same audio as the 2009 CD remasters. Just pressed to white vinyl. I'm sure it's the exact same thing. There's been no information that it's in any way different or that it's a new remix or anything else. Again, this is just for the collector's market. It's very limited. It mainly helps the UK's National Album Day retailers out quite a bit by drawing customers into their stores. Next, we had some comments on the video that I posted last weekend entitled Hendrix Hated Zeppelin. Now, I want to talk about these comments, but before I do, I want to mention that I made a big mistake with this video in how I titled it on YouTube. I accidentally titled it Hendrix Hated the Beatles instead of Hendrix Hated Zeppelin. Now, this was due to a typo, and I'll talk about this in a moment. But what really surprised me, very pleasantly surprised me, is that I didn't get a rush of hate over it. Instead, most of the regular viewers just realized it was a typo. Many didn't even bring it up, and instead just gave me their thoughts on the video. Kevin Kokorin 6493, hopefully I've said that right, guessed correctly when he said, I think he may have had the Beatles on his mind for some other video when he wrote the title. And Kevin, you are correct. I'm calling you Kevin for short. Hope you don't mind. I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to even talk about the fact that that same day it had been announced that for here in the US, Record Store Day 2024, there is going to be a Beatles release. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about it or not. And I was thinking about that when I was titling the iMovie project for the video before I sent it to the drive. I mistitled it there. And so it mistitled when I uploaded it to YouTube because the title translated over. Luckily, though, I did catch the mistake later that same day and I corrected it. Anyways, though, getting to the comments, though, on this video, whenever you bring up Jimmy Page and copyright infringement, there are going to be Zeppelin fans that feel the need to defend this, who can't just accept the fact that, yeah, there were some instances where Jimmy Page did commit plagiarism. One of them goes by Zlonkman. Again, I don't know if I've said that right. He wrote, on the very first pressing of Led Zeppelin 1 back in January 1969, through all the album's reprintings and re-releases over the decades, You Shook Me was always credited to Willie Dixon and Jay Lenoir. I don't know if I say that right. It was a cover song. There's no law preventing Zeppelin from creating their own arrangement of this blues song. You're right, Slonksman, but that's not what's at issue here. Let me go back to his comment. The people who gripe that Zeppelin stole this from Jeff Beck are ridiculous. I wasn't talking about those people, by the way. Beck didn't write the song either, but nobody said he stole it. Well, I would have to ask you, did Jeff Beck properly credit the original songwriters? And did he pay the proper remuneration for it before you make this claim? He goes on to say, I suspect it's because Zeppelin was such an overnight success story, even though each member had paid their dues in other outfits up to that point. This is true. In any case, Zeppelin's version of You Shook Me is superior in both performance and production. That's your personal opinion. And I can also say that about all the other songs they allegedly stole. What Slonksman is referring to here is the fact that in the article that was the basis of my video, Jimi Hendrix mentioned that Jeff Beck had already recorded You Shook Me. And I responded by saying to him, you are correct. They, meaning Zeppelin, did credit Willie Dixon on that one. And that was a poor example that Hendrix gave, and not one that I will defend. But Page didn't credit the use of The Hunter by Albert King and How Many More Years by Howlin' Wolf in their version entitled How Many More Times. Page outright stole Dazed and Confused from Jake Holmes. The original credits for Led Zeppelin 2 from 1969 didn't credit Willie Dixon's original lyrics for You Need Love, nor did it credit that the Lemon Song was a reworking of Killing Floor by Howlin' Wolf, and that Bring It On Home was a cover of a Willie Dixon song. Yes, you can record a cover song, but you have to credit the original writer and pay the proper remuneration. Jimmy Page also never acknowledged Blind Willie Johnson for Nobody's Fault But Mine. Doing it the right way one time does not make up for doing it the wrong way all those other times. And if you think that Led Zeppelin's rendition of You Shook Me is better than anyone else's, then all that is your subjective opinion. A subjective opinion has no bearing on whether or not Jimmy Page did or did not steal someone else's music. There is no alleged when it comes to Dazed and Confused. Jimmy Page stole it. There is no alleged when it comes to the lyrics of You Need Love. Jimmy Page stole it. This tendency to say that Zeppelin only covered these songs, that did not steal them, or they changed the songs, they covered enough to claim them as their own, continues now with a comment here by, it sounds like it reads, Frank Incense DJB123. He writes, this is an old, ridiculous argument. Zepp played a few covers over the years, just like any band. For most of those covers, Zepp used some of the lyrics, but changed the songs so drastically.
Without lyrics, you'd never be able to recognize the original.
Go listen to the originals. When the Levee Breaks, I'm Gonna Quit You, and Nobody's Fault But Mine. Just a few examples. Then listen to Zepp's renderings of those songs. Night and Day, So Let It Go. Frank, and I'm going to call you Frank for short. If you record a cover and release it, you have to credit the original songwriter and pay the proper remuneration,
regardless of how much you think you may or may not have changed it.
Led Zeppelin obviously didn't change these songs as much as you think they did, because blues fans caught what they did. And so did the original songwriters. A perfect response to all of this comes from Chris Lawton 66, who writes, Led Zeppelin took from other musicians just as virtually everyone else did, except where Jake Holmes was concerned. They flat out mugged that man. Led Zeppelin apologists are ridiculous when saying they made it better, implying that it's okay that they took another man's work. Imagine being okay with, say, car theft because someone put on brand new tires, a new engine, and gave it a beautiful paint job. And honestly, I could not have said this better. I did say this in a previous video I posted many years ago, back when the whole Led Zeppelin versus Spirit lawsuit was going on. And in that video, I took a lot of the arguments, some of which are being repeated here, and basically tore them all down. I'll leave a link for that if you want to see it. A lot of these Zeppelin fans sound to me like kind of like the wife who gets repeatedly abused by the husband and keeps on making excuses for his behavior. I love Led Zeppelin. They're in my top 3 favorite music artists of all time. I have the entire catalog. I've owned the entire catalog on CD. I'm getting a lot of it on vinyl right now. Jimmy Page was a brilliant musician. He didn't really need to steal, but there were times earlier in his career with Zeppelin where he did this. And you'll notice I put pretty much all this at the feet of Jimmy Page, not the rest of the band, mainly Jimmy Page. That's a long story. Maybe I'll get into that later. But, you know, I like the band, but you have to acknowledge that he did these things, and he was wrong to do them. There were certainly a lot more comments regarding this issue, but they were all pretty much giving the same tired arguments. There were a lot of them that said, hey, other bands record and release covers. You know, why do they get a break? Well, the reason why they don't get accused of plagiarism is because they don't slap their name over this name of the original songwriter and say, hey, I wrote this. Recording covers is not what's at issue here. It's perfectly fine to record covers, just so long as you do it legally, just so long as you credit the original creators, just so long as you pay the proper remuneration.
I don't know why this just doesn't compute with certain fans.
But that wraps up this segment of your mean and nasty comments. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you have anything else to say about it. And keep the comments coming. I do read every single one. I may not respond to everyone, but I do read every one. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. A big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters do get exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. If you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. You can also, if you choose, leave a one-time super thanks for any video that I post here, and that helps out a lot. And of course, you can also just click like. Clicking like is free, and it helps this channel a great deal. Everybody, thank you so much for coming by, for hanging out. It means a lot that we are willing to, talk music with me, and I really do appreciate y'all. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.